Hey everybody, Joe here. I'm back again, and here with another unboxing actually. Got a package from FedEx today from Hong Kong. I think you may already know what this is all about. If not, check out my Instagram or my Facebook page. You'll see what this is. Something I thought would be kind of cool to drop some money on and check out. And now you know who's in Hong Kong that I would get a package from. Good people at Play Asia I bought this from. And it is something that's been out for a little bit now. Thought it'd be kind of interesting to procure this. It's a bunch of foam peanuts. Nah, there's more to it than just some nuts. It is the Retro Freak console. This is the... I don't know if I want to call it the Japanese equivalent to the Retron 5 or the Japanese answer to the Retron 5 or something along those lines. But that's essentially what this is. It's another emulation console that plays a whole bunch of different games. It has 5 cartridge slots, like something else we know a little too well, and plays the games for 11 different consoles. Those being the Famicom, Super Famicom, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, the Sega Mega Drive, Sega Genesis. Yeah, I'm kind of separating them, but then Retron did it too. The PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, and the Super Graphics, also from n.e.c. Which, it's kind of neat. I don't have any games for Super Graphics, but I can play most everything else. It's kind of different from the Retron 5 because it doesn't have the slot for your a Nintendo Entertainment System games. So that's what I was looking for. However, you can probably get a 60 to 72 pin adapter. There's some paperwork in the box. Okay, not in English. But then again, this was for sale in Japan. This pamphlet has, on the front here, I believe this is supposed to be the adapter for Game Gear games. I think with an adapter you can play Game Gear or Master System games. I imagine using the, what's it called? The Power Base Mini would work with something like this. On the back it has the adapter to use traditional controllers and an extra of the controller like the one included. Here's another bit of paperwork. I think this is like a registration card. Again, in Japanese. And I can take these little sections out of the box. We've got an HDMI cable. Looks kind of short, but I'm not going to need too much. And here is, I think this is the power adapter. Indeed it is. It's one of those kind of long power adapters. Pretty much standard fare. But the thing I'm most interested in seeing is actually the controller, which is right here. The couple of reviews I've seen of this system already say this controller is kind of cheap. But then again, a lot of the repro controllers, if you want to call them that, the third-party lookalikes that are out in the market are not too different. But truth be told, anything's kind of better than the Retron 5 controller. It's kind of shaped like a cross between the classic controller for the Wii and a Super Nintendo. Holding it in your hands, it doesn't feel that different from a Super Nintendo, really. It's fairly comfortable. It doesn't feel as cheaply made as I anticipated. Buttons feel alright. They're just standard buttons. And the D-pad, it does sink in a little deep. I still think this would be playable. I mean, I don't know if I could be throwing like Shoryukens and Hadoukens and all that quite so comfortably with it, but it's not too shabby. It's a USB plug on this. I wonder if like a USB controller for a PC or something would work, because in place of a Genesis controller, I could get like a Sega Saturn one so I can map something to the shoulders, because there's an option and a home key on the controller. And now onto the console. Very small, which is kind of another selling point for me. I'm thinking of actually boxing up some of the consoles in my little studio area, let's call it, where I do all my gameplay recording and actually record a lot of my videos. And here it is. You've got your, looks like Mega Drive, Super Famicom, and Famicom slots here. Your PC Engine and Game Boy slots here. And 1, 2, 3 USB ports. On the back, you've got your power adapter, a micro SD card slot, HDMI, and a power button. If you haven't seen a review on this, this is going to kind of blow your mind. But you're familiar with how the Retron 5 copies the ROMs. It loads the ROMs into its data, then plays the game. This does that too, but with one little thing of interest. It will actually save the ROM onto the system. And then you can actually, let's see how this works. Don't want to, there we go. This is kind of like the brain of the console. It basically slides out from the bottom, has 2 USBs on the front, and that's where the jacks and the SD card slot are on the back. And it's kind of like having a micro console with all of your ROMs. So, full console, micro console. From what I understand, you can actually load ROMs that you have on your computer onto this as well. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm sure I'll be trying to figure that out. But this is going to save me a little space in my game room. Not really too much I can say about the design. It's whitish gray. It's made of a thicker plastic than the Retron 5. It feels like it has a little heft to it. This doesn't seem to weigh anything. Even with the brains taken out, this seems to have a little weight to it. Basically, the 2 USB ports you see here plug into USBs in here, and that's how that works. And this is basically an adapter for all the cartridges and whatnot. Very interesting. Looking forward to checking this bad boy out. Just want to take a look at the box here, see if there's any details or information. This is what was known as the standard version of the console. There's a premium edition or something like that where it comes with an adapter to use the actual controllers from the consoles. I didn't think it was worth the extra money to buy that thing, so I went without. And I'm kind of okay with that. Their supplied controller is... I'm going to have to play it. I'm going to have to play with it. It doesn't feel quite as bad as I was expecting. Like I said, very reminiscent of like a Super Nintendo controller. The buttons sink in a little deeper than what I would have liked, but they're not as bad as I was expecting for the D-pad and the face buttons. Shoulder buttons sink in awful deep, but they've got a good snap to them. They come back. Looking forward to trying it out. So keep tuned in. I will have some more coverage on this. I will give some thoughts. I will do a full comparison to the Retron 5 and give all of my thoughts in the coming weeks. So keep tuned to this channel. Hope you've enjoyed this unboxing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.